Okay, hang on just a second. Let me kill this call. All right, we are recording. Guys, this is Rob Shucraft for Three Storm Fitness, and I am with Denise Bailey, and we are on a Skype call. This is a first for me. I started running out of things to review in my gym, and so I'm picking up other people's equipment. And Denise was kind enough to volunteer her time to show us a really interesting and I'm assuming fantastic gadget she has called the BionicGym. I met Denise through a Facebook page. We're both members of this group called this is gonna sound neat, the naked the Naked Fitness Mirror Facebook group, and and what that is a mirror that reads your body fat. And she's always posting. She's like super active on it. I'm being kind of a Facebook creeper, and I'm watching what she's posting on there. And she's posting all these great progress pics of her body composition and what she's been up to. And she started talking about using this little device called the BionicGym. And when I heard about this thing, because she's like, that's this thing you strap onto you, and it gives you a cardio effect, and it's it's just like jogging. And I'm like, oh, this poor lady, she's fallen for like some QVC late night hustler. She spent her life savings on this little machine that doesn't actually do anything. But then she keeps posting these pictures, and then she posts a picture of like herself as like former competitive bodybuilder. I'm like, okay, this lady knows what she's talking about. Like, I got to pay attention to this. And so I looked up this device, and I was like, kind of blown away by it. At least when I saw the claims. I wanted to get one myself, but number one, I can't afford one at the moment, and number two, I couldn't get it if I wanted to because they're just not available mainstream yet. So I asked Denise if she could hop on and just share with us, basically give a review of the product, and she, like I said, graciously agreed. So Denise, you ready to roll?
I am ready to roll, Rob.
Awesome. I apologize, guys, for the video production. If you guys watch my videos before, you know that I'm in rural Appalachia. Basically, my internet connection always blows. But if you like these Skype calls, if you like this format, let me know. I'd love to see what other gear people have out there. So leave it in the comments or whatever. But Denise, let's get going. So tell me, how long have you had this thing?
So I got it about 3.5 weeks, almost 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I have been waiting for it since January of 2017. It's an Indiegogo project, and that's when I bought mine. And
Gotcha.
I was such a believer, I bought not one, but 6, because I thought my son will kill me if I don't get him one. And it was kind of like go down. So everybody I love should have one of these,
Whoa. Did you get a discount on
that? Well, I'll tell you what, my discount is pretty good because the earlier you back, the less you pay.
Yeah, like with a naked mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, I got the naked beta test group, and so they gave me my scanner for free. And I still thank them for being awesome. It was a year of beta testing, and they really paid attention to the details on all that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wow. Okay. Well, cool. So, okay, it can pay to be an early adopter. Is this the BionicGym Pro, or is this the standard version?
So this is a beta version. So So I'm just gonna, I don't work for BionicGym, so I'll just kind of fill in the blank of what this is.
Sure.
So this is a beta unit running on the beta app on an Android device.
Okay.
And it has all the different training programs that are currently in beta testing, but they're actually ready to ship in the UK now. So all of what I have in the beta is now actually running live on real units in the UK. But I have access to all the, the HIT program is only coming out with the units as they ship, not the beta units.
Okay.
But we've all been playing with it for a while. And there's no question in my mind that HIIT will be something that you'll have to work up to. You know, it's pretty intense.
Really? Okay, so that's I mean
Yeah.
that's a good segue. I mean, you showed me earlier when we were playing with the camera position and everything. I could see now again, guys. I know my camera quality. I'm not sure how this recording is going to turn out, but you may not be able to see, but her legs vibrating a little bit, and
So what I'll
it,
do is I'll step in. So I've done about 52 minutes of warm up time. So I'm just going to stop it
it's a heck of a
and then
warm
I'll
up.
hit start again. And then I'll just volume up to increase the intensity if I can find it. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll start cranking it. So what was I at? I was at 45, I think. So
Yeah,
I usually try to do 30 to 40 as a warm up. And I'm doing pretty good. I'm at like a heart rate of 127. When I first got the unit, there was nothing I could do to get my heart rate up. I mean, my heart rate would correct below 100, no matter how high I turned the intensity. And being at 65 intensity was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do that, you know?
So
But
what?
now I could like almost walk around with it on 70, but we'll just see what my heart rate does. And I'll stand here and let me kind of give you the tour of what it is.
Yeah,
If I just pull my shorts up, there's a wire and a unit, if you can see the blue light, and you can see my legs are they're really going right now.
yeah. You're not just dancing right now.
And that blue light comes on and it pairs with the app. And then there's a wire that goes from the device, the control unit,
Okay.
underneath my shorts to the left leg.
Okay.
And then all I have on is an upper pad and a lower pad, and they have an adhesive on the inside. And the adhesive sticks to the front of the belly of your muscle on your quad. And then in the back, again, it has adhesives on the backside that adhere to the hamstring, the belly of your hamstring.
Oh wow.
And they kind of sandwich you between those two, and it sends an electrical stimulation. And it feels, initially when I first did it, I'm just getting a little bit out of breath. So what's my heart rate at now? It feels pretty good.
Man, I can't. Honestly, it's a little fuzzy on my end. It kind of lost focus. I want to say
152.
150. Holy crap.
So I'm cardio right now.
Yeah, this is the talk test right now. You probably couldn't sing the national anthem
So
right now, right?
I'm starting to sweat, you know. So I've had it on for about 30 minutes before we started the call.
That's crazy.
Because you kind of have to have a warm-up period. But when I first started using it, it was very prickly. The sensation was very different. But I had an atrophied left leg. A lot of my muscle gone on my left leg. You know, bad knee,
Yeah,
some injuries. I haven't been able to do cardio in years.
gotcha.
So it seems like that first 2 weeks that I wore it was just like giving my body an opportunity to kind of firm up, get the muscle, you know, kind of active again.
Yeah,
I'm sure my mitochondrial density and
yeah.
all that increased. But I couldn't get over about 108 for the first 2 weeks. I would have to like walk around or swing a kettlebell while I wore
While you were doing that, oh
these
my God.
garments. But now, as you can see, I can pretty much stand here and dial it up. But you have to be warmed up.
Okay, how long?
70, your
Takes
volume
about
dropped.
30
Is your
minutes.
mic close to your face?
What's that?
Can you pull your mic in? I can't quite hear you.
Oh yeah. I'll just talk closer to my computer here. Can you hear me now?
I can, but I'm going to have to stay close to your voice.
Okay. I'm sorry, Denise. What I was asking was, how long does the warm up take? About 30 minutes?
Yeah, so I wouldn't warm up less than 30 minutes. I mean, getting to 70, it's going to take you a couple of weeks. Now, other beta testers strap that thing on and they get cardio right away. But I'm guessing they're the people who are like training for a marathon and
Okay.
they don't have a knee injury or
So
any issues.
you think it had something to do with the atrophy in your knee or in your muscles around your knee?
I do. I think I had to do some recruiting and some, just a wake up call. I gotta say, I've done a lot of cardio in my life, and I initially, like the first week I used it, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not getting anywhere with this thing. But the weight, you saw my naked scans.
Yeah.
The weight just started falling off like
I know
immediately.
that's nuts.
And
That's
so
what
I,
made me want to get on
I
the phone
just
with
had to kind of suspend my judgment and just go with reality. And I just kept doing it. And I got to say that I was just sick for the last week with a relapse of a cold I had. And this is like the second time, maybe the third time that I've put it on after a 30-minute warm up and just been like off to the races. Like,
you. Wow.
I think if I want to turn it up now, I could. My target heart rate for cardio is 152. Pretty sweet spot right now, but
Yeah. And what do you have? You said you have a polar heart rate adapter right now?
yeah, so it does not come with a heart rate monitoring device. That's on you. And
Okay.
I like the polar strap.
Gotcha.
People are getting different results depending on what kind of monitor they have. But once you put that polar strap on, I just run it on a separate device. So this is my phone, and this is an Android app. It's not running clean on iOS for the beta unit. So this is the
So
best I got.
so it's like the opposite of what Naked's doing right now because it works on the iOS but doesn't work on Android.
Yeah, well, so the inventor is Irish, and maybe he's just an Android guy.
Yeah, that's cool. I like Android guys. This is crazy. I'm thinking of all the potential applications for this thing. Like, I got to ask perhaps a stupid question, but can you drive wearing this thing?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay.
For one thing, if anything ever happened, and you had this on, I mean, think of what your liability is.
Yeah. Well, Denise, by the way, is
Secondarily,
a firefighter, so she would. I'm sure she's seen some people doing some stupid things on the freeway.
some stupid things, but no, it's a terrible idea.
Okay. Well, forget that. Maybe as a passenger,
So,
maybe I won't.
Rob, just to make this a little, I hate to interrupt you,
No, you're
but I'm
fine.
going to turn it up to 80,
Yeah,
and then I'm going to back up, but I can't hear you very well.
that's okay.
So I just want to give everybody an idea of what happens. So I have it on. I have it on up to 80. I'm drenched with sweat. My shirt's wet. If I just bend my knees a little bit and kind of flex a little bit in my knees and thighs and calves, I get kind of stable there.
Okay.
And you'll see my heart rate will just continue to climb. And it just gets more and more intense. I put a TheraBand around the outside of my knees just to offer a little bit of external rotation, some
Sure, the
resistance
gluteus
on the
medius. Yeah.
external. And that just skyrockets my heart rate.
Oh my gosh.
So 80 is
You got a text on there.
someplace
I
I never
can't make
thought
it
I'd
out.
be. My heart rate's 160 now. It's 160 and climbing. And I'll just turn it down a little bit.
So those
So we can have, I don't know if you can see, but I mean, I've got sweat dripping down my face. My arms are completely wet with sweat. If I wasn't talking to you, I would probably, let me just breathe how I feel like breathing.
sure. You could turn it down right now if you want
Yeah,
to finish the
not because
conversation.
it's painful, but because I just want to be a little more interactive with you now.
Yeah. Those when you turn those ratings, those the 80, the 75, are those like arbitrary numbers relative to to the app, or does that stand for a unit of? Is that a frequency of some kind, or what is that?
Yeah, it's just an arbitrary number where they said if a zero intensity has this probably amount of energy,
Okay,
100 is whatever they believe the max dose is.
gotcha.
But maybe your next interview can be with the inventor,
That'd be
Louis
cool.
Kraut. He's a really awesome guy.
Man, that'd be awesome. Yeah, if anybody wants to interview with me after this. But that's let's see. So how hard have you got how high have you gotten it up? Have you hit 100?
So you just, oh no,
No, okay. So
although I would try it with you for the hell of it.
what don't hurt yourself. It's you don't have to do that for me. That's
Hey, it's all in the name of science.
yeah, well, it's up to you.
But why don't we see how high I can go and tolerate it? Because 70 was a piece of cake, and I just think that it really is like the more you get accustomed to it, the harder it works on you, and the better it works for you.
That's that's how my Mark Pro was. I realize it's kind of a different unit,
Oh, I
but
love Mark Pro.
yeah, it was you kind of just get more and more used to it. You're able to crank up the intensity more and let it do its thing.
Okay, here's 90. I have a bad knee,
Yeah.
so I'm going to step back. I would say that 90 is hard to walk now, and a little harder. I can't really soften my knees. They're locked in pretty straight now.
Okay.
And it's not impossible. I don't know what my heart rate's doing.
I wish I could see. I can't quite make it out. So
let's let it work its magic for just a minute.
Okay, so it's I mean, you don't have to talk, but it's like you're doing like Tabata intervals right now or something. I mean, you're killing it.
I think the sky's the limit, and I think the more you know about fitness and yourself, the further you're going to be able to take this thing.
That's crazy. So have you ever measured your VO2 max?
Not in a very long time.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I have not been able to do cardio for.
That's right. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to measure it.
Maybe 3 to 5 years.
Right. That's could you just chill? Do you think you could crank it up to 90 and chill? I'm not asking you to do this, but chill on the couch and watch TV while you're doing this, or?
So I'd have to get. I actually play video games, so.
Awesome.
I've never had it up to 90 and played video games, but I personally am much more comfortable standing.
Yeah.
Sitting and having my legs shake like that tends to make my knees really hate me.
Oh, gotcha.
And, but generally, every time I use it, it's easier to use than the time I used it before. So in all honesty, I have laid down with it. I've, sat there with it at 50 with pillows underneath my knees, just laying with a towel. And I watched the whole movie just so I could prove to myself that if I wanted to be a complete slug, I could.
That's awesome.
I can stand and play video games. I play Destiny 2, play Warframe, and
Nice.
I can get on there and pretty much, not miss a shot and finish a raid or do whatever the group wants to do without getting anybody or myself killed more than we usually do.
That's man, this is going to ruin people. This is
so I guess the thing is I would say that's probably a great segue to the it's not a panacea kind of conversation.
Yeah, okay. Let's have that.
You have to do the work. And when I'm at 80, I got up there to 80, 85. Once I'm up there, like right now, I can tolerate that for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But about 20 minutes in, I'm going to be like, oh gosh, how much longer before I'm done? Because cardio is cardio. It's exhausting. Yeah. You get tired. As much as I want to just do it for hours on end, That's not really possible,
Okay.
and uh, probably not advisable either.
Okay.
But
Yeah. So it's
what I noticed about it, go ahead.
oh, well, I was just going to say, so basically you just treat this just like you would programming for your cardio in the gym. Like you wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily.
so when I was kind of in my smart girl heyday, training and able to do kind of everything I wanted all the time,
Hmm.
I would have done, cardio as a warm up for weight training.
Sure.
And then I would have used it as a tool maybe 3 or 4 days a week for my heart health. And I would have always used it as a cool down. So maybe, cardio wise, a healthy amount of use for me would have been maybe 2.5 to 3 hours total. Uh, right now, I'm using it for a long duration. So I might put it on and wear it for about 3 hours at a very low intensity. Maybe I'll stay under 40 just so that my heart rate sits at like around 100. But I'm getting fat burning kind of, you know,
Sure.
it's extra activity that I haven't been able to have because the more I walk around, the more my knee hurts.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, uh, you know, my knee hasn't really been bothering me at all since I started using the BionicGym. And I think part of that is just the stabilizers and the muscle recruitment,
Yeah. You get
fighting
that
that leg twitch.
you get that blood in, blood out. Basically the benefits without the joint damage.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's
I'm
cool.
not pounding on that knee. Usually it would have to repair the knee as well as recover from, whatever training I'm doing.
Um, and this thing is shifting gears a little bit. This thing is I want to say 649, right? Is that what they're gonna have it available at?
Yeah, it's
$649?
around it, yeah, I mean, let's just round it off and say it's 650, and I'm not sure if that includes shipping or not, but when it goes to market, I think, the sky's the limit on this thing. I
Yeah.
really I can't imagine that it'll come to market for less than 800. Uh, it really is, it's not going to be for everyone. I know people who are super fit and who can do CrossFit, and but I think about how about if you break your arm uh, or you injure yourself and you just can't do cardio? Uh, I mean, I just can't say enough great things about it. I got to go back to what I said earlier. I haven't been out of breath, sweating, drenched with sweat, panting. It's been years, and it feels so good. It's
Wow.
like I'm having the first drink of water after crawling across the desert,
Yeah.
And
That's
there's
poetic.
emotional, I get endorphins, I get my chemicals because I'm exercising. I'm getting my irisin, and
Yeah.
that's my cardio chemical, and that does so much inside my brain. Like my mood is improved. Uh, it's just a general sensation where I'm a complete addict to exercise. Once you start doing cardio, how you want to do more,
Yeah.
it's just like that with this. It's not like there's a missing element where you're like, I just did 3 hours of whatever, and I don't want to do anything else ever again. It's like, hey, I wonder if I could put that on tonight too. It's like you see the results and you just want to just run with it.
You're a fiend.
And yeah, and I mean, honestly, when I wear this, like I wore it last week on the last day I wore it was Wednesday. And like I said, I had got another cold. I kind of got a relapse. And so I didn't use it. I wouldn't allow myself to use it. This is the first time I've used it since last Wednesday. So it's been a full week without BionicGym. And I'm having like, it's like I'm coming right back. I feel great. And it has like a residual effect that has metabolically changed me. So I still lost weight last week, even though I
Oh wow.
wasn't doing any cardio. No, I wasn't going to the gym either. So I lost a pound of fat, and I've got that was one of my most recent posts on the Naked, is that it's metabolically just like, you would expect if you went and did cardio for 3 weeks, that your cardiovascular system would start to improve, and then you'd start to see some metabolic advantage to.
Well, you talked about mitochondrial density, and I mean so basically it's the exact same sort of changes you'd have by hitting the elliptical, the treadmill, the Airdyne, whatever. It's just without the.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Unequivocally, my experience is an absolute unequivocal affirmation of, this is as much as any other cardio I've ever done. This is cardio. And I can dial it in and sit at 110 on my couch. I'll sit on my recliner with a pillow behind my knees, and I could sit there and scroll Facebook for 3 hours, I could watch a movie. I could play video games. I could talk on the phone, It's just, to me, it's, like all I keep saying when I talk to friends who kind of have heard me talk about it for 2 years, right, is I keep saying it's real,
Yeah.
This is not this put away and never use,
Yeah.
It's
well,
pretty
people
cool, and it's efficacious. I've got it right here. I've had it on for 39 minutes, and I burned 340 calories.
Wow.
I have it right now on a setting. We just use other indoor, but this is a complete underestimation of my calorie burn, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I can't wait till somebody has the device and starts testing it in a better, in a scientific way.
Yes.
To see what you're really burning and what you're really getting out of it, because I'm standing here and my legs are like shaking, and my muscles are contracting strongly, and it doesn't take any of that into account, really. It's just looking at my heart rate and doing the math on a, it's estimate.
Gotcha.
But it's not like if I put it on running, that's probably overkill, because then you get your arms moving and, but
so
you can see how this, I could just go on and on about this.
So you just run, when you put it on running, is that, you just kind of simulate running with your arms while that thing does its thing? Well,
I can't physically run anymore. I'll never be able to really run again. But I have strapped this on at a low level. If I want to do HIIT training with this without having a program run it for me, I'll go out in the garage and I'll have a kettlebell, and I'll have it on. I'll get myself up to 102 as a heart rate. And then I'll swing the kettlebell for, say, 25 or 30 times. And my heart rate will be like 168. And then I put the kettlebell down and I just let myself recover back down to that 102 level.
Okay.
And
that's amazing. That's so cool. I didn't know you. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I'm obviously paying attention to you, but my wheels are spinning in terms of what I could do with this thing.
It's so cool, because when you have this device, it's up to you to reinvent yourself.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think, the more the deeper you'll go. I mean, I'm going to completely be nerding out with this for, a long time to come. I have a friend who has asthma, and I want to strap it on her so bad, and see what happens,
Yes. Yes. I know exactly what you just want to evangelize about it. Well, that's fantastic. What I'm trying to think if there's some questions. How's recovery? Do you have like a HRV monitor or anything like that? Have you been able to measure recovery? Does it seem to affect? I mean, obviously.
I'll never use it on leg day again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had a great workout. I only train with a trainer, and I do Olympic lifts, deadlifts, squats. And, I went in and did a great leg workout, and then I came home and I I soaked in some Epsom salts. I had a meal. And about 2 hours later, maybe 3 hours later, I strapped on the BionicGym and I just went for it. I was like, oh, this is going to be the greatest workout of my life. And then the next day, I was in agony. I mean, my muscles and my legs, I was just like, oh my God, it was bad. And this was fairly early on. And so I think it was just the amount of lactic acid that, there was just no way I was going to clear all that. And so I suffered. And now, like I had a leg day yesterday. I had a leg day yesterday while I was at work. And I have a little bit of light DOMS, but since I swore it off from training days, I haven't really had any DOMS to speak of from the BionicGym.
Okay.
But I will qualify that I'm really just getting into my sweet spot with the BionicGym. I mean, I could put it on and say, hey, I'm going to do 45 minutes of cardio today and see how I feel tomorrow, and that's going to be new for me. So you're kind of getting this first kind of interview where it's like, I haven't even really got to nerd out with this. I kind of, I'm a 55-year-old firefighter thinking that a couple of years ago, I felt kind of washed up, like, geez, I'm not even going to be able to pick my retirement date. I'm just going to have to limp out pretty soon. And I started training with a trainer and got a lot stronger, and that carried me for a pretty good distance. But, it's hard work. It's demanding. And I thought, geez, I want to pick my retirement date. I don't want my retirement date to pick me. Yeah. And now I'm looking at this and I'm going by how I feel. And I'm like back to where I kind of have a pep in my step where I can run upstairs. And I always take it easy going down because that's the bad direction. But it's pretty amazing. I really, I'm off on another tangent.
No, that's okay. I'm the king of tangents. Let's see. Do you? I know it uses those like gel pads. Are they kind of similar to like the Mark Pro pads?
Exactly. So a much thicker. So the pad is like that. It has its backer material that is. It's the gel itself is probably a good 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. It's a very thick amount of gel. And I've been using the same pads. I haven't changed pads. And all of the beta testers, who've had their units for some of them as much as 2 months, they've been in continuous, arduous use, and nobody's gotten new pads.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I take it off, I have to hang them up to dry, and I don't put the covers on the sticky side. I just hang the whole thing. I drape it over my rim of my bathtub. And then later on in the day, I'll just give I'll give it a little touch. And if it has its tackiness back, then I'll put the pads on it and wrap it up and stick it back in the baggie. Okay. Otherwise, you have to let it dry out. Otherwise, when you touch it, you'll notice that it just feels wet. And you have to let them dry out or they'll lose their ability to really kind of stick to you.
Okay. Well, that's a good tip. Good maintenance tip. What do you know? I don't suppose you know what airline regulations would be for this thing, do you?
Hey, I don't, but I'll get back to you on that. And it's one of those things where if you can get into the airport with the device and there's nothing on it, it's just a control. It's not any bigger than your cell phone. I'll just take it off and show it to you.
We kind of lost focus a little bit. I don't know if it's the camera or if it's our connection, but let's see. It's probably just the connection. Okay. So it kind of looks like just in case, I'm not sure what you guys can see, what the recording's going to look like.
It's just a small unit. I mean, I would say it's about the size of an old Nokia phone.
Or a small remote control, TV remote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, if you figure you could have this stuck in your purse, they don't care. It's just a device with a battery in it, and it's not going to raise any bells or whistles. And the
Yeah.
actual pads, the wraps, the garment, as Louis calls it, when you have those, I don't think you can walk through security with them on because they have metal in them. So
Gotcha.
you would you would have to have the wraps in your carry-on bag. But
Okay.
once you got through security, I think you could go in a bathroom and strap them on and have no problem. But I would say if you were sitting next to someone on a plane and you had these on and you thought you were gonna, imagine how irritating it would be if I was sitting next to you on a plane, jiggling the whole time.
I would knock somebody out. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That would be really,
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'm pretty
shaky.
sure that anybody who's going to get this is going to be savvy enough to not use it in an inappropriate location. But
Not
obviously, for
me.
your own safety, you don't want to be enmeshed in something so deeply that you uh, can't look out for your own best welfare.
I would just say I'm a nervous flyer. I get a little shaky.
I used to be great at it when I was a kid, but I think that we just tell ourselves we're great liars when we're kids. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I can't either, and I can't lie good at all now, and I'm really I'm way past that. I just try to be smart now. The bottom line is I make time for this, and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. There's some beta testers who have bad knees, who are more than 100 pounds overweight, uh, who have pain standing on their legs, and this is changing their lives.
Oh,
Uh, I
sorry to
think the
interrupt you, but
people who
um, real quick, I read somewhere that I just want to make sure I ask you this. You said 100 pounds overweight. That there's for women, it was some really obscure number, 224 pounds may
yeah,
have issues because of like cellulite density or something like that. Do you know anything about that in terms
yeah.
of?
Sure. That might have been, my legs I've lost fat in my legs. So, like, if I go back on my scan, I could look and see how much smaller my thighs are now. But that's some of what they say is what is super uncomfortable for women is we carry most of our weight from the belly button and above the knee, right?
Right.
So, having that fat mass around your thighs, it makes the very uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
So, and so what they say is it just can't be strong enough to actually penetrate more than a certain amount of fat in order to get to your muscles and activate them.
Okay.
But I'm sure that they're going to be working on it. If I was 225 pounds and I wanted to try this out, I'd still do it.
Okay. Hey, that's yeah.
Because I'd put it on a lower setting and just start slow and move at my snail's pace until I was doing better.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
one of the beta testers, Matthias Belkin, he's a German beta tester, and he has just all kinds of physiological. He's posting his journey right now, and he has all kinds of hurdles that he's just basically leapt over, and he calls himself the fattest beta tester that the BionicGym has. But I adore the guy. I mean, he's put it all up there. If you go look at the BionicGym website, you'll see his posts, and he's got some pretty intense physiological hurdles that he still has to jump over. But he's like lost 30 to 50 pounds
Oh my gosh.
in over 7 weeks, and
Wow.
that's life changing. I mean, he goes out and goes for a walk with his mom now, and you just have to smile about that. You've got to
Yeah.
say, wow, this is like a new lease on life for somebody like that. Uh, and he's fairly young, so whatever gains he can get out of this could really carry him. There's a lot
Yeah.
of older people who are looking at, maybe they've had knee replacements or they're not candidates for knee replacements. Uh, you know, all kinds of things. I, if I was a mad scientist, I would definitely lock a whole bunch of people up in my laboratory with this thing.
Well, I hope you get to be a mad scientist someday. Um, well, I'm going to go ahead and we'll stop it here. I'm sure people are going to have some questions. I try to do my best to ask as many thought-provoking questions as possible. But if they do, could I reach out to you and get some more
I,
feedback from you?
I hope you want to talk to me again in about 4 weeks when
Yeah,
I'm like show quality.
that'd be awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, this
Yeah, and you can send me questions anytime, and I'm a pretty thoughtful responder. I'll get right back to you, Rob. You're really great. I think it's awesome that you want to gather this information up and pass it along to people. And I think,
oh
I've
yeah,
been a consumer of podcasts and knowledge, and the more you know, the farther you'll go.
absolutely. Is that Dr. Seuss? Hey, thank thank you so much, Denise. I'm gonna kill the recording. You can go ahead and stay on. Um,
Awesome.
Thank you very much, guys. This is again Rob Shucraft, Three Storm Fitness. Subscribe to this channel if you like this. Let me know what you think. Again, I don't know what the quality of the recording is gonna look like. If it looks like what I'm seeing, it's not that good, but the content's great. Denise has been awesome, and her Bionic Gym. I want one real bad right now. I'm gonna break into your house, Denise, and steal one of your 6. Hope you don't mind. All right, guys. Thank you.